What's up, Blueprint family? How y'all doing out there? Thank you all for joining us tonight. Um, Yesterday's live stream video, we forgot to cut the audio off, so we wanted to go
The
ahead.
music, yeah.
I mean, the music. We
Mhm.
forgot to cut the music off, so we wanted to go ahead and do a redo of this because it was such a great topic. So we wanted to make sure that all of it is clear and heard and concise. So, with that being said,
Yes.
the topic is how to get the intimacy back in marriage. So we're
Mm.
going to review this question that we have posted and break it down for you all
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah, because I think this is actually pretty common, and this is coming from a wife. Finally, we get a wife question. Well, another wife question. So I always love the wife questions. But let's go ahead and get started. Let me see. I'm going to pull this up to read. Okay. So, hi. She says, just wanted to seek some sanity out here. I have been married for 5 years. We have a 1-year-old beautiful daughter. I have heard that there are some turbulences after kids, but our relationship is at the rock bottom. We don't have any intimacy. We can't seem to stand each other without having an argument. We have come from love to hate being in each other's company. We fight crazy, blame games, name calling, and there seems to be no end. It's all starting to feel unreal because ours was a love marriage and we still find it hard to imagine life without each other. And our daughter is like the thread holding us together in moments. I seriously wish to achieve that intimacy back and a fulfilling life that I've always imagined after a baby. Any tips and advice would be really appreciated. So, that was her question, and a good one, I might say. Um, one of the most complex challenges a couple can face is having kids. That's just bottom line. It's tough, bringing in a whole new person into the relationship, right? Even if it is yours, it takes on a whole new set of responsibilities, a whole new set of mindset changes. Life just changes, especially for a young couple.
Mm-hmm. You all are transitioning into parenthood. So you all are going from marriage to parenthood. And what that means is that this marriage, you all's relationship is no longer about just you two. It is
Mm-mm.
about your child as well.
Yeah.
So understand that now that you all have a 1-year-old daughter, you all are in 5 years of marriage also as well.
Hmm.
I wanted to note that. In our previous video, we talked about the stages of relationship, and usually, normally, in that 5 to 7 year period, you are confronted with some sort of conflict or crisis. We call this a crisis stage in the relationship. This is normal, so don't be alarmed.
Yeah.
And all you all are trying to do is get your intimacy back in your relationship,
Hmm.
and that's normal as well, especially after having children,
Yeah.
having a child. Be
Hmm.
mindful that you're needing, um, um, at this stage, especially having a child, a 1-year-old daughter, you probably have a lot of sleepless nights. So I would suggest and advise that you all try to catch up on sleep, because a lot of the issues that you all are having is probably due to the lack of sleep.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you all need to focus on self care.
Hmm.
Focus on your self care. Figure out ways to get more sleep. Usually, when your daughter is asleep, that is a welcoming time for you all to take a nap.
Hmm.
I don't know if you both work or if you are a stay at home mother, but that would be a great time to catch up on some rest. Um,
Yeah.
and for the father, if you are for the mother, if you are a stay at home mother, then the father can catch up on rest while on the weekends, hopefully, to catch up on rest so that both of you all are not frustrated.
Or you both might need to alternate, however that looks like. But yeah, definitely the first step would be to come up with a plan on how you guys can get sleep, because I guarantee
Right.
that is probably, like my husband said, the one of the number one reasons, honestly, why you are struggling.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a given. I think all married couples with kids
Right.
go through that, and we get that. It's the sleep, it's just it's like a life. So many things change when you have kids. Your priorities shift, your schedules change, like, and this is not even like temporarily, you're talking about for a lifetime. So it's so many things that you now have to adjust to. And it's, it can be hard, especially with
Right.
no sleep.
Yeah. And then usually this is some useful information for my wife and I, and as far as sleep goes and raising children. You normally don't get all of your sleep back until that child turns 5 years old.
Yeah.
From what I was told and what we've experienced raising three children of our own. As they
Mhm.
get older, it does get easier. And we do look for the child to be able to wake up in the morning, make a bowl of cereal and sit down in front of the TV before mom and daddy wake up in the
Mhm.
morning, so we can squeeze out some more sleep.
We do. Yes,
Yeah,
let's look forward to if that's
yeah.
something that it's true that they
But
can
that
do.
is helpful. That's helpful information that we
Yeah.
wanted to provide. Drop some jewels right there
Yeah, because it's
for you
tough.
all.
That 5 to 7 year, not really in particular, like my husband said, the 5 to 7 year crisis that you're going through is very common, but it's also one of the most difficult ones. But, again, with it being very common, that also shows it's very easy to get through. So you really just have to take the time to do the steps to first care for yourself. Self-care being first. Also eat well, exercise, get some time to get in your hobbies, the things that you like doing, so that you can then first rejuvenate yourself before you go back into your marriage to try to work on things, right? So we want to make sure that we're good and in a good space mentally, self-wise, so that then you can, go into the marriage and say, hey, we got some work to do, right? Let's get this intimacy back like this lady is asking us for.
Right.
So scheduling. I know that's another thing. I think you kind of hit on that, but scheduling time as a couple is a big thing that you really have to do, especially when you introduce something like a child into the mix, right? Because now all your schedules and everything has shifted around, and sometimes it can just fall by the wayside, prioritizing your marriage. And it's so important, even with that little one, to say, hey, little one, we're gonna have to push you a little bit to the side so that mommy and daddy can have our time together, because honestly, that's what your daughter would want as well. She wants her mother and father to be in a healthy state and a healthy relationship together. I don't think if children could actually comprehend what parents are doing when they're scheduling their time out, to spend time away from them, I think they would value that too. Like, hey, mom and daddy need that time. I know our kids do at least.
And then find family members who can watch your daughter,
Mhm.
preferably at night while she sleep.
Mhm.
Um, Try to see if you all can sneak away for like a date, a
Yeah.
dinner date, for about an hour, or or two. To
Yeah.
be honest with you, because all you and your husband need to do is get back and connect with one another,
Mhm.
and that deals with communication,
Mhm.
proper communication. Now,
Yep.
it would be ideal for you all to stop competing. And what I mean by competing, the blame games and name calling,
Mhm.
that it does not provide you with a avenue of resolution. What I like to talk about is you rectify the situation, you negotiate, and then you resolve whatever your
Mhm.
issue is. So here you want to negotiate intimacy and what that looks like now in your relationship, being that you all have a baby girl, a 1 year old baby girl. So it would help. Please stop competing and arguing in your relationship, because that only brings about that hostility that you speak of when you said that you all come from a love and now to a hate relationship. But I can tell that you all still love each other
Yeah.
in the language that you're using. They say that our marriage is a love marriage. I
Mhm.
find it hard to imagine life without each other. So
Yeah.
yeah, you all are going to be fine. Just stop
Mhm.
competing and stop arguing with the blame game and the name calling. It really,
Yeah.
that part doesn't matter at all. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I understand that you all want to vent your frustrations out. There's better ways to do it, but I just think that
Mhm.
you all are more so sexually frustrated
Mhm.
in this marriage, and it's showing through the letter.
Yeah.
Um, and
If I may,
yeah,
in
go ahead.
in my wife economics course, we talk about how wives really have to get creative and innovative when it comes to keeping your intimacy alive and rekindling and connecting with one another. So oftentimes what you see is when you have a disconnect, it's really hard for, I guess, couples who have become comfortable with each other, because there is some level of comfort that you guys have, like my husband mentioned, because you're married, so but you become so comfortable to the point that you no longer carry on the same habits like you would with your friend, of being kind, of being empathetic, of being, approaching somebody and caring about their feelings when you're talking, especially if you're in a marriage and you just introduce a kid in the mix, dude. And if you're tired too, it's so hard as a couple to just be like, nice to each other when you're just running on like fumes anyway. You're barely making it through. It's kind of hard to want to put in that thought and effort of, how can I say this nicely? Or how can I, be kind to my husband? But that's really important to do, even if you are going through those situations, because honestly, that's going to make or break your relationship, is that communication. If you can just remember that, hey, my husband's going through this too. We're both losing sleep. We're both not connected with each other. We both know our intimacy is struggling. Let's not tear each other down by also being mean to each other during this time. Let's just say, honey, we got to work on some things, right? And just figure out, take that time to schedule a date so that you can work and talk on intimacy. Write out a plan that you guys can say, hey, this is what I know we need to work on. This is what I like doing. When we do these things together, this is what I can envision our life being like. You saying here, I imagine life without I can't imagine life without each other. And you want to get to that other side, right? To where you are experiencing that intimacy after a baby. That's what you say, that fulfilling life of intimacy after a baby. So talk about what that looks like, right? Go on a date and be open and honest with your husband about what this looks like and how can you get there, right?
And then some things that you all can do
Mhm.
to just start building back that intimacy and the communication in your relationship is just by practicing giving each other compliments.
Yeah.
So you all are fighting each other, arguing,
Mhm.
and it's probably consuming most of your relationship and most of your time together now that you have a child.
Yeah.
So you both should practice giving each other positive compliments. And what we mean by that, start in the morning and say, good morning, honey.
Mhm.
You look very beautiful today.
Yeah.
Even if you all don't feel like saying it, because what you're doing is replacing your negative emotions with your positive emotions by utilizing these compliments.
Mhm.
Other things that you also can do is provide each other with notes and letters during the day. If you pack his lunch to go to work, or either if you don't, just give him a nice kind note somewhere. Put it in his pants pockets before he goes to work, and to let him know that you're thinking of him in a positive way.
Or text message.
Yeah, and then also throughout the day, you can text message him intimate, things that may
Mhm.
spark his interest, as far as having some sort of intimate close time with you when he gets home or that night.
Yeah.
But also too, he has to be realistic and understand that, especially if he's expecting sex, it may not be always around the same time that you normally do, because having children will put a challenge
Mhm.
on trying to uh, form intimate times with each other or have
Yeah.
sex with each other. And then also too, having children will also to shake up your schedules.
Yeah.
So when you think that you can finally get down to doing it, all of a sudden the baby wakes up. So don't get mad. Be patient with that situation. It's going to happen. You all are just adjusting to life now with a baby, with
Yep.
a 1-year-old baby girl, and that's one of the biggest things that you have to learn to transition is finding time for each other. It's never going to be when you all really want to do it. It's going to be more so when you can find the time to do it. So I mean, enjoying this, being spontaneous about it in your relationship, but more so you all need to get back to communicating positively in your
Yeah.
relationship.
And
So
that always starts with thought. If I may,
mhm.
I always say within my Wifeconomics course that always starts with thought, right? So keep a thought in mind about the qualities that you like in your husband, even when he gets on your nerves, even if you're in the midst of an argument. If you can try to think of like, oh, he drives me crazy, but I love the fact that he's so, headstrong, committed or whatever, friendly,
Or handsome,
or
or
handsome. Yeah, or handsome. I love that's a good one. Like
mhm.
when he's mad, he makes handsome faces. Yeah, stuff like that. Like try to keep a positive thought in mind because it will really help to kind of shift your dynamic and your energy within your own thoughts of yourself and the conversations you're having in your head and kind of what you say to your husband as well. So it's really nice if you can just keep that thought like what qualities you like about him and then also ask him, what qualities does he like about you? And then work to kind of strengthen those qualities. So if he says that you're very kind and he loves that about you, then show him that side of you very often so that then he gets, really more that building that emotional connection will help to build that intimacy and that bond, believe it or not. And I'm pretty sure you do understand it because as women, we're very mental when it comes to sex. So if mentally we're not there, physically we're not going to be there either. So just try to do those things that's going to help you get there mentally before you can get to the physical part. So like my husband says, be flirty through text messages throughout the day. Send those little things. If you thinking a little naughty thought, send him that little naughty thought. Don't be, I guess, scared about, or insecure or maybe shy about it. Don't worry about that. Just I'm pretty sure your husband will love stuff like that. So
Mhm.
just do little things that you can, even if it's a little intimidating to try to keep the, intimacy alive. Yeah.
Right. I mean, you all been together for 5 years. I mean, I
Mhm.
think things like that got you all together.
Right.
So you shouldn't be intimidated by that at all.
It certainly got a daughter.
Right, exactly. So you shouldn't be intimidated by that at all. Just remember
Yeah.
all of that stuff that you all did to get here and do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Because
really gonna
my
help.
wife made some good points of initiating that communication, and it's very important at times sometimes that women initiate the intimacy
Mhm.
because men are inspired by their women. So once
Mhm.
he started
Yeah.
seeing that you were flirting, and then he was going to follow suit and do it back with you.
Yep.
Um, and sometimes it is hard for a man to initiate um, that sort of communication because he may not have had a reference in his life of someone doing that or
Mhm.
seeing that type of stuff. Or because a lot of us come from single parent homes, so we don't see, both of our parents flirting with each other and
Mhm.
being intimate with each other as well.
Mhm.
So be patient with them about that, and being the fact that you're reaching out to us, go ahead and initiate these things because somebody has to start to do it. But
Mhm.
you have to put your ego aside with the competing and the name blaming and the name calling and
Mhm.
the blame games. Get
Yeah.
past all of that stuff. So
Yep.
that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to involve some positive reinforcement into this relationship and get you all past the nonsense of the arguing
Mhm.
and all the blame games and trying to one up each other.
Yeah, you made a great point when you said that the woman inspires the man. In particular, women, we kind of forget that our femininity and just our natural ability to be nurturing and empathetic and loving is a great tool to use so that then you can kind of understand where your husband is coming from and then look for a way that you can help him along the way to understanding further you and each other and how your relationship can grow. So if you, like he said, great job for initiating it, writing this question, and even wanting to know
Mm-hmm.
how in the world can I help my intimacy? You're already showing that you're right on track with keeping going and understanding that it takes work because it's not easy. But if a couple can maintain that emotional intimacy and that sexual intimacy, they are sure to have a profound relationship. So again, you're still fresh. This is 5 years. I think if you think of like a 5-year-old child, you're still young, and older couples will definitely attest to this. Building emotional intimacy and sexual intimacy connection, all of that, it takes years to really understand what works, how to work it, and what just the whole experience of going through life together and still being able to go back to those things that always worked in the beginning to help keep that emotional intimacy and that sexual intimacy going. You guys will honestly really be fine as long as you take the time to just go back to what helped in the beginning, right? So when we think back to what my husband was saying about healthy communication, do a lot of things that will inspire you to, I guess, talk in ways of win-win solutions for each other. So when you're going into and approaching problems, come together and try to see, hey, how can we both win from this situation? How can we work this so that we both can come together and come out on top? So if I'm noticing that we're both in a sleep deficit and we both work jobs or whatever the case may be, let's say, hey, you can wake up with our daughter and I'll get my nap in and then we'll switch. Next time, then you do that. You get your nap in and then I'll wake up. Whatever it is, just take the time to really try to come up with win-win solutions for you guys as a team, because that's really how you got to approach life in general. You are now two people, that's one. And your daughter is looking at this. She wants to see you guys work together.
Yep.
I go ahead.
I was going to talk about some more things that they can do.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
To build intimacy. Another thing that you all can do is work on foreplay.
Yeah.
Foreplay massages and baths. So this is where your husband can step up and participate in as well. So you all know what foreplay is. Take part in it. After you all have established good communication, preferably even after that date, if you all can get to that date, or either just on a weekend, establish some sort of foreplay in your relationship, and then also too massages. Now, your husband should be initiating and giving you massages. That will help with the the physical contact and touching, and then also opening you up and making you more mentally transition to wanting intimacy
and relaxed.
Relax. It helps relieve stress and all of that. So and baths, he can run you a bath. You all can bathe together and just talk, especially while the babies sleep. So those are some other additional things that you all can do to help bring that intimacy back into your marriage.
You can even take even if you don't have as much time, every day, try to take 5 minutes, as hard as it may be, really schedule out 5 minutes just to be present with each other, right? So that just means sitting down, having a conversation, looking at each other in the eyes, holding each other's hands, smiling with each other, connecting with each other, really spending that time screen free, right? Devices free, kid free, if you can, maybe not. Include your daughter in this time too. That would be great. You said that your daughter is what holds you guys together. So that's awesome. Include your daughter in a lot of activities that makes you guys happy as well, because when you're thinking foreplay too, it doesn't always just have to start off, sex. It could be just connecting and having a great time with each other and having fun,
well, you mean
right?
Including the daughter.
Yeah, well, not in the.
I know that.
Yeah.
Provide examples.
Doing activities that you guys love to do before getting married, or before having your daughter, at least. Maybe things like taking a walk and going to the park, going to bowling. I don't know, whatever activities that you guys enjoy. Yeah, whatever activities that you guys enjoy that you can also bring your daughter along to is a great way to keep that emotional connection and that intimacy going, which will build into the sexual connection too. But like my husband was saying, just really making sure to initiate and not being afraid of I guess kind of standoffish to it, because you're kind of in a grump, right? So sometimes because we're in a grump, we're kind of standoffish and we're like, I don't really want to do this. If your husband's trying to, initiate things, be more open to it. Even if you don't feel like it, be open to it. You never know how good you'll feel afterwards, right? Let me see. Some other things that we have in here. We are just writing some notes down because this is such a good question, and we really wanted to provide as much detail as possible, because believe it or not, it's very, very common, especially after a baby, for couples to find, even just how to connect with each other sexually, like you said, is really hard. So, that it's really hard for a lot of couples, and this can make or break a lot of couples, but you guys will be fine because you're already doing what you need to do, which is reach out for solutions. So in my wifeconomicscourse.com, we spent a whole 2 weeks talking about first communication, harmonious communication, and then also troubleshooting issues within the relationship. And this is one of the common ones that we hit on because, believe it or not, it's just so super common. Kids just make it really hard for couples. So again, you can get through this. But another great thing is to work on your couple flexibility. So it kind of goes back to the win-win situations that I was talking about earlier, but what can help determine a couple's ability to sustain through life's ups and downs and keep that emotional intimacy and that sexual intimacy and all those levels is if they can really come to a common ground and be flexible through that time, understanding that, hey, life is going to happen. We can't just expect things to look rigidly this way all the time. It's not realistic. So if you can be flexible within your mind about what this whole idea that you have about, what this fulfilling life looks like that you want to achieve, if you can be flexible in your mind about what this looks like and come together with your husband and, allow him his input and you guys come together as a team to figure out what that can look like, it's really okay. And you'll make it through a lot of other life's challenges because you'll learn that habit of approaching difficulties with a flexible mindset. That's just a big one that will actually help you get through a lot of challenges, believe it or not. I think more challenges than not, because it's really just about a couple's ability to duck and weave and mitigate through, life's ups and downs.
Right. And then, part of it is just recognizing difficulties in the relationship and not trying to be emotional about it.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out ways that you and your husband can work through the problem. So, I mean, that's one thing that I think a lot of people in general have issues doing when they're faced with challenges or conflict, is that they don't know how to work around the situation, and they always resort to emotional situations or lashing out in their emotions.
Yeah.
But yeah, these challenges in crisis, the crisis situation that you all in after 5 years, bring you all together closer. It will.
Yeah.
It will, because now you all are laying down the blueprint of what parenthood looks like and what the marriage while being parents look like. Once you all are comfortable in this situation and how you all establish intimacy, you all now have a reference and a tool that you all can use in case you all want to have another child. Go for that boy. Go for that baby boy. And then you all will see, okay, now, we can do this instead of, arguing and fighting with each other.
Yep.
We all know now that we have to be patient and wait for the kids to go to sleep. And then we can go back into our marriage. Because like I said before, this parenthood, and when you're in parenthood and you are married, the marriage is no longer about you. It's about your children.
Yeah.
These children are going to be up all day with you. So your focus is mainly on your children. So you have to switch your mindset. That's why you all feel as if one of the reasons why you feel that the intimacy is gone, because it's not just about you anymore.
Yeah, that freedom gone. Yep. Your freedom is gone. A part of yourself recognizes that.
Right. So you all recognize that, and you all are freaking out, and you all are tired. So you mix that all together, and you're going to get conflict and names and name calling and blame games going on. So, but it's okay. You all are going to make it. You all are going to be fine. But just reestablish that and be patient, because what you're doing now is building that blueprint on what intimacy look like now in your marriage, parenthood. So this is your marriage 2.0.
Yeah.
So it's an upgrade, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's so true. That is so true. And in fact, another point too is you are a new person, right? So you're now a mom. Your body has done amazing things. It's had a baby. I don't know if you're even breastfeeding right now. That definitely contributes to you maybe feeling touched out. I can relate to that. I breastfed all three of our kids for a long time. At some point I felt touched out, like, don't touch me, because you just want your body back. So be patient and loving with yourself too, and understand that, hey, I am self 2.0 now too. I'm a mom. I have a lot of hormones going on. Your hormones drop drastically after giving birth, and some women take a while to level out, and really get back, comfortable with themselves and their bodies after giving birth. And now you're in a marriage, you had to take that break anyway from having sex after having kids, so your husband's trying to find that connection of, all right, how do I be a dad and how do I be a husband? That's a tough spot too to be in. If you can just be empathetic to him as well and see, hey, he's struggling too, trying to figure this out. Just as much as you seriously wish to achieve that intimacy back, I guarantee he seriously does too. Really, really does. So Yeah. I think another if when I think back about us and our young marriage life and how we had first had our first child, a big part for my husband adjusting was that he no longer had the time to do a lot of his hobbies that he loved, and particularly the gaming and doing the things that he loved to do, working out as much as he did. He can't do those things as much anymore. So sometimes that can take a toll on your mental too. So mentally, your husband may not even be there to want to, have sex too. This is new for him too.
Yeah, but also learn know each other's love languages. So if he
Yeah.
likes touching, you know, don't hold back from touching her.
Mhm.
Same thing for you. Let each
Mhm.
other know what you all enjoy about each other
Yeah.
and how you all like to initiate um intimacy in
Yep.
your relationship. That is always like a cheat code, a quick cheat code to
Mhm.
get you all in the mood or in the mindset.
Mhm.
Try new things. I spoke about foreplay earlier. If you all are in the role playing or haven't tried that before, try it. Just try new things that you all have not tried before and be open
Yeah.
open about it and communicate about it and see where it takes you.
Yeah.
So just enjoy each other. I
Yeah.
think you all just need to get back to enjoying each other, trying to find ways to establish positive communication is key here.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I don't want to talk roundabout
Yeah.
about this. But yeah, those are the main things. In review this video. Watch it a couple of times that we're making it for you,
Yeah.
because all of these things you all can put this together and formulate a plan
Mhm.
moving forward.
Yeah, just be kind and loving and understanding and patient. Be so patient with each other. Like, this is new. Be patient. Don't expect yourself to, sometimes going into things, we just expect us to have the perfect marriage, be the perfect parents, be the perfect spouse, be the perfect woman, be the perfect friend, daughter, whatever. We give all these expectations for ourselves. And in a way, it kind of can hurt us because we're just trying so hard to fit these molds and it's just too much pressure. Release that pressure from yourself and understand that it's okay. Like, this is new. Be patient with yourself, be patient with your husband, and just love each other. It's okay. You'll get through it. And honestly, too, your daughter will definitely benefit from seeing you guys implementing these healthier habits. So, the blame gaming, the name calling, just taking the time to stop and recognize, hey, this is taking a bad turn. Let's not even do this anymore. Like, let's take a break, understanding when to separate and not further engage, like abort mission, maybe like come up with the safe word, like, hey, this is getting out of hand. Like, I'm a little tired of fighting, that I might say something I don't want to say, like safe word apples or something, whatever it is, like, just so that you guys know, hey, let's stop this. Let's take a break. Let's come back and revisit this later, because it's not, it's not healthy just to keep going into these arguments with each other, because then in a way you kind of walk on eggshells, and then that creates like an anxiety within the relationship, and then of course you add that in with being sleepless. It's just a deadly combination of things. So these are just some things that you got to look out for and be mindful of within yourself, so, and your marriage. And again, women, we are a little more capable of leading change within the relationship. Like we mentioned before, you reached out first. So understanding that you're probably going to have to bring these things to your husband. Don't put all of, like, kind of the thought of, maybe once you know, just tell him that these are the issues, that, oh, he's going to just up and change overnight. No, you're probably going to have to bring it to him and keep suggesting things, keep talking about things, keep
Initiating.
working. Yeah, just keep initiating and working at it, and just be patient with it and understanding that he's probably going to want to keep trying it with you too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, if you want a consultation, wifeconomics.com, schedule a consultation with us on the website. If you would like a more personal consultation from a married couple, we always recommend that younger married couples connect with other married couples, older married couples, happily married couples, that can give you advice on what worked for them, so the specifics, the details, because we all within this marriage life cope the way we cope, and we all learn ways to navigate problems within our relationships. And a great tool that we all can use is to talk about the experiences that we had, because they can be wisdom for somebody else to learn from and grow from, and can really help somebody else. That's what Wifeconomics was all about. The reasoning for creating it was to be a support system for women when they're married, as well as before married, understanding what they're getting into and the roles that they're trying to fill. Because having a healthy marriage is really key to having a healthy family, having a healthy community, and having a healthy nation. And that's really what it's all about.
That's true.
Yeah. I think that's all I really have. It's been I'm glad we got to re-talk about this again.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah. What do you think? You have anything else?
I honestly do not.
Yeah.
I feel good about your relationship. I think that that's all you all have to do. It's not that big. You all's problem is very minimal. You may feel like, the sky is falling
Yeah.
because you all are transitioning into parenthood.
Mhm.
But if you do these things in this video that we have provided for you, then you all are going to enjoy life as parents and parenthood, um, and just work as a team to help alleviate the stress. You and your husband. Your husband needs to help you during this time, especially with the child. He needs to be looking out for your mental health and well-being, and you should be looking out for his as well. And both
Yeah.
of you all need to be focused on the baby girl in this relationship as well. You all know that. So best of luck to you all. We're rooting for you,
Yeah.
and you all can do it. So we
Definitely.
really appreciate the question, and we hope that you appreciate the feedback. And I guess until next time, audience, thank you, viewers out there. We really appreciate you all listening. Thank you.